Have you ever wondered why you're not getting the results you want, even though you're working hard? The truth is, the problem might not be your effort, it might be your thinking. Welcome to Master Your Thinking by Thibaut Maurice, a powerful guide that will help you think more clearly, make better decisions, and take smarter actions. In this audiobook, you'll learn how inaccurate thinking creates unnecessary stress, wastes your time, and keeps you stuck. But with a few mindset shifts and simple tools, you can change the way you think and change your life. Let's begin. Why this book? Over the years, I've met many people who don't see things clearly. They talk about their big dreams and how excited they are to reach them. But when I look at what they're doing, I can tell they don't really understand what it takes to succeed. This shows up in different ways, like taking too little action for such big dreams, using a weak or unclear plan, being sure they're doing the right thing, even when they're not wanting to hear advice or make changes. It's great to dream big. I have big dreams too, and I believe it's important to have goals that inspire you. The problem is when people spend a lot of time working in the wrong way, and they don't even realize it. That's why I wrote this book. I want to help you think more clearly and make better plans. This book will guide you to take the right steps and increase your chances of success. Life is too short to waste time doing things that don't work. This book will really help you if any of these sound like you. You've been working on a goal for a long time, but haven't made much progress. You want to understand how likely you are to succeed in your next plans. You want to create smart and effective plans to reach your goals. You want to reach your goals or dreams faster than usual. If any of these feel true for you, keep reading. Introduction. Do you have big dreams, but feel like you're not getting any closer to them? Do you sometimes wonder if it's even worth trying? Maybe you worry that you're just fooling yourself. In life, some actions lead to good results, while others don't. This is called cause and effect. So one of the most important skills you can learn is how to see the world clearly. In simple words, you need to understand how things really work, so you can take the right steps to reach your goals. But this isn't always easy. Especially today, when there's so much information around us that it can feel confusing. Still, it's very important to build a clear and true picture of how the world works. People who reach their goals are always learning what works and letting go of what doesn't. On the other hand, people who struggle or give up often believe things that aren't true. Because they don't really understand how the world works, they end up using plans that don't help. They try many things, but when nothing works, they feel frustrated or hopeless. In this book, you'll learn that the better you understand reality, the easier it becomes to take the right actions and get the results you want. As you build a better understanding of how the world works, you'll be able to improve your life in many areas. Here's what you'll find in each part of the book. Part 1. Letting go of wrong thinking. You'll learn about common thinking mistakes people make and how to think more clearly. This will help you take better actions and start seeing real results. Part 2. Aligning yourself with reality. You'll understand why it's so important to be in tune with how things really are. You'll learn how to make better guesses, gather useful information, and ask smart questions. These skills will help you create strong plans that actually work. Part 3. Making your reality work for you. You'll learn how to create an environment that supports your success, build strong confidence, and open your mind to bigger possibilities. All of this will help you reach your goals faster and more effectively. So are you ready to understand the real world better and start getting real results? If yes, let's begin. Part 1. Letting go of inaccurate thinking. Are you thinking clearly? Chances are not always. The truth is, it's really hard to see the world exactly as it is. There are so many things happening, so much mixed information, and many ways our brain can trick us. We also have personal biases, ways of thinking that aren't always helpful or true. Thinking clearly isn't easy, but it's something we all need to work on. Why? Because the better we understand how things really work, the better choices we can make, and that leads to better results in life. In this book, when we say model of reality, we mean all the beliefs you have. That includes your views on politics, religion, yourself, your career, your relationships, and more. The more accurate these beliefs are, the smarter your choices will be, and the more success you can have. In this section, we'll take a close look at how your current thinking might be off track. We'll talk about the most common thinking mistakes people make, how beliefs are formed, and how emotions can mislead you. As you learn to let go of wrong thinking, you'll begin to build a clearer, more useful way of seeing the world, and that will help you get better results. In this book, we'll call inaccurate thinking any way of thinking that is unfair, untrue, or unhelpful. This includes believing things that aren't true, falling into mental traps that confuse your thinking, holding on to negative or limiting thought patterns, letting your emotions take over your decision making. But before we dive into all of that, let's first look at what happens when we don't think clearly. The cost of wrong thinking. The way you think affects what you do. If your thinking is not correct, it can cause problems. It can lead you to make bad decisions and stop you from getting good results. Wrong thinking can bring pain and stress into your life, make you waste time and energy, make you feel unhappy, and make you feel too busy or confused. Wrong thinking brings unnecessary pain. When you don't think clearly, you can create problems that don't need to happen. You might jump to conclusions or believe something that isn't true. For example, you could wrongly guess what someone means or feels. Many problems in life, like miscommunication, come from thinking in the wrong way. Here's a real story. One of my friends wanted to create a meetup event to help people connect and have fun through games. He messaged a woman who also runs international meetup events to ask for advice. She didn't reply. My friend started to think she saw him as a competitor. I told him not to assume anything negative too quickly. There could be many reasons she didn't reply. Maybe she was busy, missed the message, or had something going on in her life. Later, she did reply and said she had been sick. She didn't have any bad thoughts about his idea at all. What's the lesson? If you don't have clear proof, don't assume something negative. In fact, if you must guess, choose a positive reason. And if possible, ask questions and find the truth. For example, if someone looks distracted during your talk, don't think they dislike your idea. Just ask them. If you feel someone doesn't like you, try to find out for sure before believing it. Main idea: don't believe negative thoughts without proof. Try to find out the truth instead. This will help you avoid many problems. Action step: take a moment to write down 2 or 3 wrong ideas or assumptions you've made recently or in the past. B. Wrong thinking wastes time. Have you ever spent hours doing something that didn't really matter? This often happens when you don't think clearly before acting. Poor thinking can lead you to 1. Spend time on unimportant tasks. 2. Do tasks in a difficult or wrong way. 1. Doing unimportant tasks. Your time is very valuable. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. That's why it's important to ask yourself, is this task really important? Not all tasks bring the same results. Some tasks help you a lot, while others don't help much at all. There's a rule called the 80-20 rule. It says that 20% of your work gives you 80% of your results. So you should figure out which 20% is most important and focus on that. Sometimes just 10% or even 1% of your actions might give you most of your success. The idea is simple. Find your most important tasks and focus your time and energy on them. Tip: the most important tasks are often the ones you don't feel like doing or that take the most effort. In part 2, coming up, we'll talk about how to make a smart plan and work in the best way. 2. Doing tasks in the wrong way. Even if you choose the right task, you still need to do it the smart way. Before starting a new task, ask yourself, can I use a ready-made template? Can I ask someone who knows more than me? Can I make this task smaller and easier? Thinking for just a few minutes before starting can save you a lot of time and stress. Here's what I do. Before I start any project, I ask myself, who can help me? There's usually someone who already knows how to do it. Instead of doing everything myself, I try to learn from them. Why do everything the hard way when others already found easier ways? More personal examples of smart thinking. Example 1. Last year, a publisher from Russia wanted to buy the rights to one of my books. I had never sold my book rights before, so I didn't know what to do. I reached out to another author I knew who had done it before. I asked if he could take a look at the contract I got. He kindly agreed. He helped me understand the contract, and we even became friends. That's what I call a win-win situation. Example 2. One of my goals this year is to get 3 of my books translated into Spanish, French, and German. But I kept delaying this task because I knew it would take a lot of time to find good translators. Then I remembered one of my author friends had already done this. I asked him how he found his translators. He introduced me to his team of translators and proofreaders for all 3 languages. That saved me a lot of time and energy. A quick note. This doesn't mean you should take advantage of people. I always try to help others, and I believe you should too. But it's smart to learn from others' experience. It saves time and avoids stress. If both people help each other, everyone wins. Before you start a task, ask yourself, do I know someone who has already reached this goal? Can someone connect me with a person who's done it? Who can share a step-by-step plan with me? Who can give me real advice from experience? Who can tell me where to find the right information? Action step. Look at what you did this week. Were all the tasks truly important? Did you do anything that didn't need to be done? Write down your answers in your action guide. Task C, wrong thinking makes you feel bad about yourself. If your thinking is not clear, you may keep doing things that don't work. When that happens again and again, you might start feeling like a failure. You may think something is wrong with you or believe you're not good enough. But the real problem is usually that your understanding of the situation is off. In other words, you may not have the right information, have enough experience, or think about things in a clear and realistic way. For example, you might think that buying a course and doing all the lessons will help you become a full-time coach in just 3 months. You hope to quit your job fast, but that goal might not be realistic. You may find out it takes much more time and effort than expected. That could make you feel sad and want to give up. The solution? Start thinking more clearly and set more realistic goals. Then you'll feel better and build your confidence slowly. Example, instead of thinking you'll be a full-time coach in 3 months, give yourself 2 years to grow your business. Celebrate small wins like getting your first client or making your first $1,000 in a month. Bonus tip, don't let flashy success stories fool you. Some people do become successful very quickly, but that's rare. They might have special experience, natural skills, or even just luck. Most people have to work hard for a long time before they see results. So be patient. Keep learning. Keep going. Action step. Write down 3 times when you had high hopes but ended up feeling disappointed or frustrated. Then answer these questions. Do you have a current goal that may not be realistic? How can you change your goal to make it more achievable? D. Wrong thinking makes you feel overwhelmed. If you don't take time to think clearly, you can easily get overwhelmed by too much information. Smart thinking means knowing how to tell useful information from useless information. Useful information helps you move toward your goals. Useless information, or noise, is everything else. This doesn't mean you should never explore new ideas, but don't waste time on things you don't need right now. Today, we're surrounded by too much information. Most of it is noise. New tricks, tips, and trends pop up every day. If you keep chasing them, you'll always feel confused and stuck. Remember, most principles that bring success stay the same for many years. Jumping from one new idea to another won't help. What you need is a solid long-term plan. If you stop chasing every new idea, it will be easier to focus and build a smart strategy that actually works for you. In my book, Master Your Focus, I explain how to pick the right information and ignore the rest. That way, you can stay focused and get real results. Action step. Use your action guide and fill out the table. 1. Write down all the information you took in over the last 7 days, like books, videos, emails, etc. 2. Mark each item as U, useful, or N, noise. 3. Write what you'll do to stop wasting time on the N items. Wrong thinking costs you a lot. It leads to bad decisions that waste time and money. To think better, avoid. Making negative guesses without checking facts, starting tasks without planning, thinking that working hard is enough. You also need to think smart, setting goals that are not realistic, taking in too much useless information. Why your current thinking is wrong. It's not possible to always see the world exactly as it is. We all have mental shortcuts and wrong ideas that can affect how we think and decide. Luckily, there are ways to improve our thinking and make better choices. Let's look at why your thinking might be wrong and what you can do about it. A. Bad guesses affect your thinking. Your thinking may be wrong because you're making bad guesses that don't match real life. The truth is, you make guesses all day. Most of them don't matter much, but some can hurt your life. What you believe affects how you think, feel, and act. So if your guesses are wrong, you might take the wrong actions and get bad results. That's why you need to question your guesses. When I talk to people or coach them, I try to find out what wrong guesses they're making. Some examples are, you can't have everything, right? I can't make money doing this. I'm not smart enough. I need to work harder. But are these true? Maybe yes, maybe no. What about you? What big guesses are you making in your life? Every wrong guess limits you. When you believe something is not possible, it almost never happens. That's why you must be careful. Your guesses have real effects. Let's say you think your job is only for paying bills. Then what are the chances you'll build your dream career? I remember when I worked in Japan, my boss said I didn't need to like my job. He said I should just take my pay and enjoy my free time. Maybe he was right. Maybe work is only for money, but it didn't feel right to me. I didn't want to spend my life in boring jobs just to pay bills. If I had believed my boss, I might never have built a job I enjoy. That shows how bad one wrong guess can be. It can stop your growth and block your future. Here's another example. Let's say you believe money is evil. Then what are the chances you'll become rich? Very low. Why would you want something evil? So wrong guesses are dangerous. What you believe often becomes your reality. Be careful with your beliefs. But that doesn't mean guesses are bad. They exist for a reason. Let's see why we make guesses. Action step. Use your action guide to write down 3 guesses you make that hurt you. 1. Why we make guesses. Your brain wants to understand the world, so it tries to give meaning to what happens. This is why people long ago thought storms were from angry gods and made sacrifices. In the same way, your guesses help you make sense of life. You might have guesses about work, life, or politics. The better your guesses, the better your choices and results. You can't stop making guesses. Your brain always tries to understand the world and creates a personal view of reality. Without guesses, you can't judge what to do or make good choices. 2. Where your guesses come from. As we said, your mind makes guesses. But have you ever asked where they come from? Why do you believe one thing and your neighbor believes something else? Your guesses come from your view of the world, which you built over your life. To see where your guesses come from, we need to understand how your view of the world was made. 3. How your view of the world is made. Your view of the world is made of all the guesses or beliefs you use to understand life. Everyone has their own view, and some are more correct than others. Your beliefs come from your parents, your teachers, the media, TV, newspapers, internet, etc., your friends, your life experiences, how you understand those experiences. Let's look at each one. Your parents. Your parents play a big role in shaping your beliefs. They pass their ideas to you. Sometimes, instead of copying them, you do the opposite, either on purpose or without knowing it. Examples. If your parents were very careful with money, you might spend too much or go into debt. If your parents were strict, you might be very relaxed with your kids. So, you copy your parents or do the opposite. Now, it's your job to check those beliefs and change them if needed. Your teachers. School also affects your beliefs through your teachers and classmates. Even if teachers try to stay neutral, they have their own beliefs. What you learn in school depends on the school type, your teachers, classmates, and the country you live in. School is not neutral. It shapes how you think. The media. The media has a big effect. TV, newspapers, and online news have their own opinions. They often show bad news like crime or disasters and skip good news. Why? Because bad news gets more attention. This can make you think the world is worse than it really is. Try this question. In the past 20 years, the number of people living in extreme poverty has A, almost doubled, B, stayed the same, C, almost halved. The correct answer is C, almost halved. Did you get it right? Only 4% of French people, 5% of Americans, and 9% of British people did. This comes from Hans Rosling's book, Factfulness. He shows that many things in the world are getting better. So news doesn't always show the truth. And this matters. If you think the world is bad, you may lose hope and stop trying to help. You might also focus on the wrong problems. A wrong view of the world leads to real problems. D, your friends and peers. Your friends and coworkers affect how you see the world. If you spend time with negative people, they might crush your dreams. But if you're around positive people, they can push you to do great things. To learn how to be around more positive people, check the section called Designing an Empowering Environment in Part 3 of the book. E, your own experiences. Everything you go through gives you feedback. When you act, the world gives you a response. That feedback can support or challenge your beliefs. For example, you might think you did a great job on homework, but then you get a bad grade. That feedback might lead you to study harder or ask for help. The more you do, the more you learn from real life. This helps you make better guesses and improve your view of the world. F, your interpretation. Your experiences shape your beliefs. But what really matters is how you see those experiences, and how you see them depends on the guesses you already have. By making better guesses, you'll see your life in a better way. This helps you take better actions and get better results. Example, if you believe every mistake helps you grow, you'll try to learn from them. But if you think mistakes mean you're not good enough, you'll avoid trying new things. That stops your growth. If you believe people are kind, you'll understand situations more positively than if you think people are trying to use you. Now that you know how guesses are made and how they shape your view of the world, let's look at some common thinking mistakes that can make things worse. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated for the next part.